The government has had 3 years to investigate this, and now they want to rush this to trial in the middle of a political season. What does that tell you?
That was Donald Trump's attorney, John Lauro, slamming special counsel Jack Smith's latest indictment of the former president. The Trump campaign now planning to lean into the same playbook they've used twice before to claim Smith is charging Trump purely for political reasons and is unfairly focused on Trump's behavior over President Biden. Our Elena Treen is live in Bridgewater, New Jersey, near the former president's Bedminster Golf Club with more. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Poppy and Phil. So I have some new reporting essentially about how Donald Trump's team had been preparing for this indictment. They spent all of Monday and Tuesday expecting for this indictment to come and lining up surrogates and influencers and allies to be ready immediately for when additional charges had dropped. And as you saw last night, that's exactly what his supporters did. I also know that Donald Trump had been speaking with his allies on Capitol Hill, including the House GOP conference chair, Elise Stefanik, strategizing about the best way to defend him in light of these new charges. And as you said, Poppy, this is exactly the same playbook that we know Donald Trump's team likes to lean on, which is to argue that these charges are amounting to election interference and to directly attack special counsel Jack Smith for operating within a two-tiered justice system. Now, last night we did hear one potential legal strategy from one of Trump's lawyers, John Lauro, in an interview with Caitlin Collins. Let's take a listen.
Our focus is on the fact that this is an attack on free speech and political advocacy. And there's nothing that's more protected under the First Amendment than political speech. So at the end, our defense is going to be focusing on the fact that what we have now is an administration that has criminalized the free speech and advocacy of a prior administration during the time that there is a political election going on.
Now, Poppy, I don't know if John Lauro or his team is going to argue this in court or at a potential trial, but it's very clear that this is what they want to put out there into the public narrative. And it's exactly what you'd expect Donald Trump to put out. He wants to convince voters that he did not commit any crime. And I can tell you from speaking with Donald Trump supporters, I spoke with many of them on Saturday as they were entering his rally in Erie, Pennsylvania, that they do believe him that he did not commit any crime. And they're very much behind him and think that the Justice Department is unfairly treating him and targeting him for political purposes. And so this is exactly what I think you'll continue to see Donald Trump use in his defense.
It was interesting to that note that Jack Smith encouraged, Alana, thank you very much, everyone to read this indictment. I wonder how many actually will.
I love the optimism. It's very interesting. It's only 45 pages. It's a quick
Double
read.
space.
I want to bring the panel back in. And Laura, I want to get to this point, though. I feel like, particularly with this indictment, regardless of your views on the indictment, the kind of tired and lazy way to go about this is Trump's people are still going to support Trump and Democrats are still going to support Democrats. The right way to go about this is to look at what's inside the indictment, what happened, and pull back a little bit. And I think my question is that even possible at this point?
Among Republican voters?
Among everyone. To get out of to understand what transpired, at least as described and alleged in this indictment, over the course of a 6-week, 8-week period.
I mean, I think if people really want to understand the entire scheme, which is what Jack Smith labels it as in the indictment, perpetrated by the former president, along with all these co-conspirators, then yes, they should read the indictment. Is the American public going to read the indictment? I am a little skeptical that that they're going to take the time to really understand all the elements that happened across these months in the lead up to January 6th and even after January 6th. And especially because I want to talk about something that Alana said about the Trump campaign's argument around election interference. Because when we're talking about the heart of the matter, which is about democracy and protecting democracy, and that this what Trump did threatened it. Him again saying that this is election interference in 2024 is potentially leading us down a dangerous road again.
Of course it is.
Where we could see what we saw on January 6th and other violence and attacks. And it also just keeps his base believing what they believe right now.
Right. Look, it's not just gaslighting, to your point. Trump is threatening, right? Part of the background music here is if this process goes forward, we'll have to see what happens with the next election. Not only presumed denial of a loss should that occur, but actually something, but him saying that this process is illegitimate in a fundamental way. We're replaying the same script. That's why this goes much bigger than partisan politics. And to your point, we shouldn't retreat to partisan retrenches. There are a lot of Republicans who are persuadable. They should read this document. If you're a self-styled patriot and you have the obligation of self-government, then read this document. Because this is something the founding fathers would have feared in a fundamental way, a sitting president trying to overturn an election on the basis of a lie.
That's the spot Republicans need to play. There are persuadables out there. This sense of we're just victims of gravity and Donald Trump's going to win the nomination. I think if I'm one of these candidates other than Trump running for president as a Republican, I come up with the strategy of, you know what, I'm just dumb enough to believe that Donald Trump is going to be held accountable for being what's most likely going to be a convicted felon in some sort of one of these indictments. I'm going to go put a campaign that's forward-looking, energetic, embraces policies, holds Joe Biden accountable for a failed record. And you wake up in a few months and hopefully you've gained enough steam. And if we're wrong as Republicans, we're wrong and we'll learn from losing.
Merrick Garland has given Donald Trump a talking point, though, because Merrick Garland wasted a year and a half. Let's just remember that. It took him over a year and a half to appoint Jack Smith. Jack Smith got this case taken up and down in 8 months or so. And I know investigations take time. I know they had to have everything perfect.
We know a little bit about why he waited now, too, from good reporting.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think there's a good reason for him to wait. I don't buy his excuses for wasting that time. It's gone now, and now this is going to land right in the middle of the 2024 election because of that.
Okay, but if you play it back a year or so, I hear you, but you maybe would have been in trial then, leading up to it. I'm just saying you would have been in it in some way, shape, or form. Quickly, timing of this trial and what everyone needs to know about U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan, because randomly assigned, but this is really interesting.
There is currently a logjam with the 2 scheduled indictments that takes us from March through July, the 2 already indicted cases. Unless one of them moves, I don't see a spot for this case to get to trial. The judge has been very strong in her rulings relating to January 6th. She has given many memorable statements, presidents are not kings and the like. So good draw for the prosecution.